If you've seen our previous videos, we've gone through a ton of buttons, functions, and shortcuts on the DJI RC Plus 2. Now we're finally getting in the air. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is take our drone out and we're going to unfold the arms. And next we're going to remove the gimbal cover. And you want to be careful. The gimbal cover is pretty snug, so you don't want to rip off the entire gimbal. So make sure you're kind of holding it back as you take it off. Now, the next thing we're going to do is put the propellers on. You're just going to match up the propellers with the gray with the motors with the gray. You can see this side does not have that. And in order to put the propeller on, you're just going to push down and turn just like that. And we're just going to do that with every side. You always want to make sure you turn your controller on first before the drone, so in case the drone does happen to malfunction, you'll have a way to control it. And from here, you could set all your pre-flight settings. So we've already gone through that in a previous video, and now we have our camera view. Now, if your drone came with the controller, you shouldn't have to bind it, but in case it didn't, just to show you, you're just going to push this button here, and you can link to aircraft, so it'll start beeping. And then there'll also be some settings on the drone. And once this indicator button here is green, that means you're good to go. Your controller is linked with the drone. And also, if you are connected to your phone via hotspot, or if you're just at home connected to Wi-Fi, you can also check and see if the firmware is up to date. So that'll be right here. And once you push that, you can see if everything's up to date. So that's the aircraft, remote controller, and battery. And also, speaking of the firmware, some of you have mentioned that the AR Street View is no longer available. It is still showing up on our drone. So just make sure you are on the latest firmware. But if you are still having problems, just let us know in the comments. But all right, getting back to our main display. Now, on the left is this navigation bar. It is customizable, so if there are some things you don't normally use, you can get rid of them, replace them with other things. I'm just going to press these three buttons down here. If, let's say, I don't want to add the point, I'm going to actually just push that. And then if I want to, let's say, add vision assist here, I can do that. And there is also a limit, so that's pretty much what you see there. And I can take AI and let's say replace it with Street View. So whatever settings you normally use most often, you want to put in that bar. It's just a lot easier rather than having to go back through the menus. All right, and going through the different buttons. So first with the L1 button, you can switch from wide to zoom. So it's currently in zoom, and then we switch to wide. And we can also use these R1 and 2 buttons to zoom in and out, but it's a lot easier than going with the dial because you can go from lens to lens. So right now we're in the wide angle, and if we switch to the zoom, we can go to wide, and then we can also go straight to the medium telephoto lens, the 3x zoom, and then to the telephoto lens, the 7x zoom. So this is important if you want to make sure you get that maximum sharpness, because if you're using the dial, let's say you accidentally hit 2.9 times zoom versus 3, you're essentially cropping in a 1x zoom to 2.9 rather than getting the full use of that medium telephoto lens. And also, if you tap the screen, you can also focus. And you can also add a point by pressing this L2 button. So you can see it's just slightly ahead of me, and then we can orbit around that point, or you can share that exact location with the team. All right, so now that we're up in the air, so first we have our wind speed relative to the aircraft. Right now it's at about 14, looks like miles per hour. And right below that is your horizontal speed, which right now is around 0 because I'm not going up or down. And the bar next to that is the tilt on your gimbal. And this top number will give you your aircraft orientation. So that's just in degrees, while this triangle is your aircraft. And also, if I start going forward, you'll see that line. So the faster you're going, the longer that line will be. And also, you'll be able to see your home point down here. You can also see it right on the map in case you lose sight of your aircraft. And if you are using the laser rangefinder, like we'll try this Hard Rock Hotel, so you can see it is a bit out of range. But we can get the water tower, which is about 3,700 feet away. You'll also get the latitude and longitude down in this area, and also the altitude, which is 184 feet above the ground. It's getting some ants on the controller, so I'm just gonna hold it and get some ants on me too. All right, anyway, back to the screen. All right, and this The 0 VS, that's your vertical speed. So if I'm going down, you'll see that, and going back up. And then the number below that is your altitude. Now moving up top, we have our camera settings. So we've got the zoom, the ISO, the f-stop, shutter, our auto exposure, our focus mode, night scene mode for times when you're flying with very low ambient light, electronic dehazing, so that's helpful if there is some fogginess in the area that you're operating. And then this will let you switch between photo and video mode. We have our shutter record button, playback, just all your photos and videos, and the gimbal mode, so you can have it either centered, down. And then you also have the vision assist camera. So we're just going to open that up. So right now we're downward, but you can also switch using these arrows. And then whichever direction you are moving, the vision assist cameras automatically go to that one. So if I'm flying to the right like this, it'll automatically show right, and going to the left, same thing, just automatically switches to the camera. And if you hold down the direction, it will lock. So if I go to the right again, you'll see it still stays on the left side, and we'll just go back. So we'll get into the settings menu next time, where we'll have a ton of options to go over. But if you like these detailed breakdowns and you want to stay up to date with the latest drones, make sure to hit that like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.